system is getting disrupted. In the payment system, the banks control the payment. Blockchain is disrupting the payment system. And blockchain implies the ledger is owned by you, not by a central repository. And that is disrupting in a very, very big way. We're beginning to see the impact in the financial system. It also means that banks are shrinking. In the West, bank branches are shrinking, number of banks are coming down, more online transactions. 75% of transactions in India is online. And the last 12 years, banks' balance sheet have grown by 10 times or maybe 12 times, both assets, liabilities, and operating profits. But employment has grown only 5%. Only 5%. Balance sheets have grown 10 times, 12 times, 15 times, but employment is 5%. So the financial service sector is getting disrupted. And to take care of lack of employment and the global financial crisis, the central banks have printed $14 trillion of currency. Japan has got 4, America has got 4.5, the EU has got some 3, 4, China has got 2 or 3. The world is surplus in liquidity. Till about 3 months back, the 10-year bond in Germany was quoting at negative interest rates. That means you pay 100 rupees, you get back 95 rupees. It's a negative interest rate. Why? Well, they are issuing that. Now it's come to a 10-year bond pays you 0.3% interest a year. 0.3% interest a year. The interest rates are down because of massive liquidity, and that means that people are taking the money, putting into venture, putting into innovation. Innovation cycles are strong from 36 to 18 months, and innovation is coming on in a very, very rapid way. So, if you look at the totality of all this disruption that's happening because of technology, IT is playing the horizontal role. With cloud technologies, you have unlimited capacity. And with advancement in the mobile, you can do a lot of transactions in the mobile at a fraction of the cost. They're all linked together. We've got 7 billion people, 6 billion people are connected by the mobile, 3.5 billion people are connected by the smartphone. And 3.5 is going to go to 6 in maybe 4 to 5 years. Everybody is going to have a smartphone, and that means huge computing power available everywhere. Quantum computing is coming, whereby the number crunching process becomes much more faster, and all the big gigantic problems of the birth of the universe and the monsoon conditions and weather climate can all be deducted using big data and using this analytics. So IT costs are coming down, and IT costs, lowering the IT costs is driving this kind of innovation. Because imagine you're a startup, earlier 10 years back you set up a data center. You buy servers, you do everything else, and you cost some money. Today, there's no data center. You go call to a cloud operator, take capacity, and you start on your own. All your data is there. You upload. It's so cheap. So cost of innovation is coming down. It's becoming people cost, infrastructure costs are coming down, and people are giving space for it for free. So IT is driving all this innovation coming because everything is becoming software, everything is becoming hardware. In manufacturing, we are in the midst of Industry 4.0. Industry 1.0 was the traditional industry that are manufactured, huge factories, machines, people came and worked. Then you had 2.0 where the assembly line came because of Henry Ford. You had the assembly line where people stood still, the line moved, productivity went up. Industry 3.0 was a PLC, Programmable Logic Controller, where we have CNC machines and the machines could be programmed. Industry 4.0 is robotics. And when the robots come, that's going to change the world. And these robots are working very hard. For example, you go to an auto factory, the entire production line is run by robots. There are no human beings. And you put the Industry 4.0, you're going to have sensors, you're going to have IoT, data is going to be picked up, put in a central server, the server is going to scheduling and based upon sales. Let's say you buy a car without the 3D printing. What happens? The dealer delivers the car, the data is captured, put in the back end, thousands of cars are delivered, and it goes to the server makes a program, sends it to all the part manufacturers, they send it to the factory, it comes there, and the robots get everything together. You can have backside of 100 cars. These are 1,000 cars. It becomes efficient. So no people. Right? Now if you have an electric vehicle there, you go and you punch in your requirements, talk to somebody, and it gives you a design, and it's printed next door. Even that will disappear. So we are in the midst of IT driving robotics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Now when robots come, that's going to change the context. A Nobel Prize laureate told me that robots cost $5 an hour. In Seattle, they want $15 for minimum wages. New York, $15. They're going to get replaced. Foxconn replaced 15,000 girls who are assembling iPhones in China because they asked for a raise. They wanted more salary. And Foxconn got the robots to do it. And robots in electronic assembly, you require dexterity in the fingers. It requires tremendous amount of maneuverability. And the robots have been able to get that in a tremendous way. Well, that is gone. And Foxconn is going to replace 500,000 young women in their factories for assembling Apple phones with robots. And robots have become the largest selling domestic utensil in Japan, because Japan people are aging, and when you age, you have a household robot which does your homework, housework, cleans up your plate, does tea, coffee for you, it's very warm, it will sing for you, you can hug it also, and it will cool to you and not talk. So, and then in China, a friend of mine went to a factory, 1 kilometer in depth by half a kilometer, was dark. He said, is it working? I said, it's working. He said, where are the people? No people. Everything is automatic. It's all robotic. Something goes wrong, red light comes, go to a PC, you fix it, I'll go there and do something. The goods are manufactured, packed, put into a truck. The truck still requires a human being, but in Germany, a convoy of trucks went 1,500 kilometers by themselves, driven by themselves. And this happens. Robots are coming in a very big way. Robots could fight war. Now, the Americans are controlling in Nevada, 8,000 miles away. They send drones to Waziristan. They take all the satellite images, find out where those people are, see all the chatter on the cell phones network, and then go against the terrorists. So tomorrow you're going to have Star Wars robots fighting wars. In Boston Dynamics, I think there's a video which says a robot standing here did a backflip and landed on the feet. A robot standing here did a backflip and landed on the feet. I think in MIT they have a cheetah, a robot cheetah. It can go 60 miles an hour. Have you seen a cheetah run on TV? The cheetah is the fastest land animal. 16 kilometers an hour it goes, and this can go 60 kilometers. It's coming very close to it. And now artificial intelligence has beaten, and big machines have beaten the best minds in chess, best minds in Go. They're doing all kind of activity, and the machines can be trained to multi-layered data being kept there to the chips. The GPU chip has revolutionized. So you see all these advances, robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning come together to change the way we work and live. So what if all of this comes together? By 2030 it's all going to come together. They're going to be 30, 60, 70% electric cars. Oil consumption will come down by 30%. India will benefit. Right? Manufacturing 30% by 3D printing. All the supply chain costs are gone. Financial services will be totally deconstructed. It will all be available to so many people everywhere. And then your medicine and life sciences will change. The way you operate upon, the way your health is done will be bespoke, suited to your body. People are going to live longer. You can conquer disease by reconstructing that in big data. And if you look at less education, then education is going to change. So what is going to be the impact on human society? The impact on human society is going to be tremendous, and that's a big disruption that's happening right now. The job intensity of growth is going to come down. So the US grows at 2.5%, jobs can grow at 0.5 or 1%. But that even the 0.5 will come down because most jobs will be automated. In the last 15 years, 10 million jobs, good jobs in America got automated. It's not that job loss are happening because of outsourcing, it's because of automation. And automation taking away good jobs the middle class Americans wanted. For the last 15 years, middle class America's income has not gone up. And that's why Trump came, because people are in pain. The same thing is there in Europe with the aging population. So automation, artificial intelligence taking away very good jobs, and society is changing. In Switzerland last year, they had a referendum for basic income. What does it mean? The proposal was every individual gets 2,250 euros in the bag every month, and a youngster gets 975. You don't have to work. And they're shot down because they said the Syrians are going to come and take it, but 23% of people voted for it. Bill Gates and Elon Musk are saying the solution for greater unemployment in the age of automation and disruption is to give basic income to many, many people. India is 10 years behind the curve. We grow at 8%, jobs will grow at 6%. Tomorrow if we grow at 8%, jobs will grow at 4%, maybe 3%. But we have a lot of infrastructure to catch up, a lot of investment to make. So we are 10 years behind the curve, it's going to happen. But all this disruption is changing the way we behave, changing the way we act, is having an impact on societies, having an impact on politics, and that is where we are today. So we are living in the age of disruption. Now before I end, 2 or 3 more points. How do we react to this age of disruption? One, we need new social structures in our society to take care of people who will be left behind. Because many people are getting educated. India produces 88 lakh graduates every year. It's going to soon start producing 15 lakh, 1.5 crores graduates every year by 2030. We have more and more people are going to college. Where are the jobs then? They want office jobs, they're not going to do. So we've got to create social structures to make sure there is no social discontent. Second, we've got to stop this consolidation of innovation in certain things. Google wants India. Facebook wants India. Twitter wants India. With all the data is there with them. When people who control big data, people who control computing power, people who write algorithms, they're going to control the way human beings behave and human beings act. Their monopolies are coming up in new way. We have to take care of that. Next, we have to be part of the innovation system. China is spending $150 billion on artificial intelligence, and China has said that US and China are going to dominate the world in artificial intelligence. Only US and China. And they mean only China. And what is happening in China is unbelievable. Where is India? India is not even thinking about it. Our government is not even thinking about it. What to do in this era. Entrepreneurs are just struggling to come out with the AI companies. They're coming up in a small way. But there's no funding. There is no innovation happening there. Our universities are dead beats. They're not innovating. Their structures are not there. So we're going to be left behind. And we're going to find. Except that in companies like Tesla, Google, Facebook, IBM, Watson, or NVIDIA, 30% of the staff is Indian. So the Indians are still around like Desh. Hopefully some of them will come back. And if they don't come back, we'll go there and do in the country too, which we have to do. And but we'll take over the country. But we have to be there. Next, what about jobs? Basic income. What about jobs? We'll still be around 10 years later. Lack of these jobs, Gujars, Jats, Marathas, and Tamils, everybody is fighting for jobs. And that's going to be a problem for the next 20 years. By 2025, India will have 20 crore people in the age group of 18 to 45 with no jobs or bad jobs. We only have 10 crore people because we're not producing enough jobs. We gave a jobs report to the Prime Minister which says India produces only 7 to 8 million jobs a year. They go to 10 million. But about 15 to 17 million come into the workforce every year. So we have a problem. And the problem is not going to go away. So how will human beings react? Luckily, fertility is coming around all around the world. Japan is shrinking, Germany and Europe, the whole of Europe is shrinking. America's population will come down except for the Hispanics and immigration. With Trump, immigration won't be there, will come down. So there is a natural progression of the lack of growth in the human race, and population is now beginning to just stabilize, and people are going to age. So we'll have a 50 years of change. But disruption is coming faster than that, so we got to place with the repercussion. And to take leadership in the age of disruption, we have to invest in innovation. We have to start becoming creative, use the left brain and the right brain together. We can't be just people who are going to get into the process. One is not going to last long. We need to have deep specialized knowledge. We need to invest in technology. And we got to reduce the stress on business and make things happen faster and grow much faster, hopefully growing much faster before they start hitting us. So I want to end here and say all of you are going to have a wonderful time in the next 12 years.